a tax base, and it kind of is what it is. It's a small town. And if it's truly about his certifications, give him 6 months. Say, hey, go get certified. Figure it out. It's pretty much that easy. I worked for a Fortune 500 company. I was a manager I just retired. After 30 years, I managed upwards of 150 people. And I can tell you right now, I did not have all the same qualifications as the people that I managed. I managed aircraft mechanics, vehicle mechanics, all sorts of stuff. I wouldn't fly on a 767 that I went and turned some bolts on, that's for sure. but my aircraft mechanics that did were top notch, and they did an excellent job. So that's all I have to say is
There we go.
Dave Joyce.
Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. To that point, I talked to a fire chief, and he said the chief for the city of New York was never a fireman.
Yeah, probably not, right.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, I don't think he was ever a quarterback.
Probably not.
So, right? So, but anyway, that's.
I actually just have a couple of questions. Is Natalie still here? No. You might be able to answer this for me. What does EMR entail?
That I don't know much about, but we have
So
to.
if I looked it up, it's around 77 hours of training.
So is it like in-person, in-class training, or is it like online
Yeah,
training?
if I remember right, it's 5 weeks, 6 hours, 2 nights a week, and then 3 Saturdays.
Okay, and
It used to be called first responder, and it was a step below, it's entry-level EMS.
Okay.
A step below your
my point in
nationally
asking
registered
this is,
EMTs.
all of our guys are volunteer bases. Yes, they get paid a very little amount, but they'll have jobs. Like, when are they supposed to do all this stuff? Again, jobs and families. Like, my husband's the new guy on the department, and he's more than willing to take courses and classes and get certified where he's needed. But he also works 50 to 60 hours a week and has a family. So, like, if it's not required, he's not looking to run into a burning building. He's looking to aid. He's looking to help out where he can. So, my question is the chief required to have fire one? State required is not a requirement.
Not required by the state.
Then what is the issue?
We can go above the state.
Well, yes, but if it's not required, what is the issue?
Are we satisfied with the bare minimum? That's
We are
the
a
issue.
very small town, very small.
All right.
I want to know the person that
Hold on, hold on.
responds is qualified.
If somebody wants to respond, please step up to the line.
I'll take a shot. I think part of the issue, from having been on the fire department, is that every fire chief going back to Tommy Jacobs. So Tommy was late 80s, early 90s.
That's right.
You know, thank you, somebody. Every fire chief since Tom Jacobs has been certified. I think that is where some of the issue comes from. Tommy, Chip, Jim Morey,
We're
myself,
certified what?
a minimum of firefighter one.
And what does that entail?
Firefighter one?
Yes, is it rigorous?
213 hours.
I was gonna say, it's been a few years.
I just looked at it, it's 213 hours of coursework and practice.
There's also practical.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Ryan Baker, Fire Drone.
Anybody.
So to answer your question about Fire One, it is a rigorous course. There's a lot of hours that go into it. There's a lot of time that's dedicated to it. It's generally run for those of us who just want to do like the part-time gig or something like that, who don't go actually down south to the academy. There's other places, other facilities that will train us. Okay, and this entails going through tons and tons of classroom hours, lots of homework, lots of tests, all of those types of things, and as well as all of the practical applications of donning your equipment, putting on your SCBA, knowing what it's like to go through obstacle course blindfolded on air. So you only have so much air that you can breathe before you have to tap out. Okay, so you have to learn how to run equipment. You have to learn how to advance hose up and down buildings, into cellars, all of these things. And you have to do all of these things in order to even attain the certification. So if we ask the question, is it important for our chief to have Fire One? Yeah, Because as someone who's certified, because I'm up to fire too, I have my swift water, I'm hazmat, I'm logger rescue. Like, if my chief doesn't have fire one, I don't trust him with my life, because that's what I'm putting on the line. I'm not looking to die going into a fire.
Okay, it was a genuine question, like, I'm not saying he doesn't need it.
Well, this has been the basis of this conversation the entire night, whether or not our fire chief is qualified to do his job, right? So, as someone who is qualified, as someone who was on this department that resigned because of this, I don't have trust in the leadership to get me through a fire if there were one.
Next, we've got kitchen.
Ryan Baker.
Carol Asher, Astville
I think it's
Road.
all.
Carol Asher, Cass Mill Road. We came tonight to try to figure out what was going on in our town, to try to get some basis. You started out, and I go back to Eric Herr's suggestion. What do you folks need? You three elected select people. What do you need from us, from the fire, from whatever, to now figure out a process, a timeline, that things are not going to be done by next Tuesday night, but in the next 6 months, 9 months, year? Do you have any better idea what could be done? Who you need to be involved? Who, does it have to be a committee, a subcommittee of select and fire and a couple of other people? I guess one of the things that I do not want to happen as a result of this evening is that people are going to be back on social media, and this is all going to be rehashed again and again and again, and it's be back and forth, and that will get us nowhere. So do you have any idea what you need from us, from the fire department, from...
Okay, like I said earlier, this is gonna take a town vote at your town meeting. So in order to get there, between here and there, we're gonna have to pull together people from citizens who are willing to participate, people from the fire department to participate. It's probably gonna require some, people from the other boards. So we'll have to we have to, work on this.
Are you talking about a committee?
It's gonna have to be a committee. I mean, but you guys can't look at the three of us and say, all right, fix this and bring it to us at a town meeting. I mean, that's not gonna work. Everybody in here has come in and had some pretty strong feelings. You need to participate and help us, because we're gonna have one shot to get this to town meeting, to have something that would stand the test. If you just have us sit here and put it together, we go to town meeting, it's not gonna go well. So, people all talk about what happened when we got our fire chief. That was a result of, sorry, police chief, sorry, Joe, of an amendment that was on a warrant article that the selectmen proposed. Not that we weren't planning to have some people on the interview committee, but there were members of the public that wanted, and so we did it. And that's what it's gonna take. But I think it's gonna be, I think we have a lot more issues here to work through than we did trying to find the great police chief. So I would say that we're gonna, there's gonna be talk about, start coming up with a minimum of what we want on the committee, and then we'll have to get word out and get people to sign up.
How will you get word out?
We'll probably, and Shelley's got the email blast, you can put it on the board out here on 3A. We'll have it post, probably post something out at the dump. I don't do social media, so I'm not gonna be putting any social media.
You're talking about to
Hold
set
on.
up a meeting, right?
Just-
We have somebody that's at the hand up.
Pierre Guillot, Borough Road. You know, I came into here tonight the same reason I think we all came in here. We want to know what's going on, and I think it's frustrating to sit here and have us all watching this unfold as politics and banter back and forth between the two parties, personal attacks, arguing. We're sitting here comparing apples to oranges. We're comparing Hill to Bristol to Franklin. You know, Hill isn't Bristol. Hill isn't Franklin. We don't have a full-time fire department. We have 1,100 people. Our needs aren't the same as these towns. Why aren't we sitting down and comparing to other volunteer fire departments in the area? Alexandria, you know, we got places, Danbury, that have volunteer fire departments, and their system seems to work. We've got them responding to calls and doing things. We need to sit down as a town and have the selectmen and the public figure out what we need and what we want. All right, and I understand the importance of education. You know, I'm an auto technician. You know, not always the most educated person is not always the best person for the job, and vice versa. Education doesn't make you a better this or that, doesn't make you a better firefighter, it doesn't make you a better technician. So we need to sit down and see what we need and compare ourselves to like towns. Because going back and forth comparing to towns twice our size, 3 times our size, and arguing amongst ourselves about utter nonsense is what it seems like, is not getting us anywhere. So we need to actually figure out, put our foot down, see what the problem is, and talk amongst ourselves and figure out what we actually need instead of just going back and forth and arguing over things that don't matter.
I have a rebuttal. I have the answer. So I spoke with the EMS director for Lakes Region in our area, and I did ask him that specific question about Danbury, Alexandria, and other departments that are our size, and what licensing they have. He does not know any small department other than ours that does not have at the minimum EMR. So just again, to repeat, every small town department that we have, he does not know any department that does not have at least EMR. Small towns like ours, so just to point that out.
Who's that you talked to?
This is the, Nathan, what's his name? The director of EMS?
Just the positions.
Yes, what's the position of the guy's name that I spoke to that's in charge of EMS in our region?